Hi everyone, welcome to another video. This is Mr. Chow from EnglishTution.org. Now I think some students may be wondering how are the online lessons that are conducted via Zoom, how are these lessons conducted? So I put together a very small sample of an online lesson that I've conducted with one of the students of mine. So this video is about comprehension techniques for students who are in primary 3 to primary 4. Who wants to build a strong foundation in their comprehension. So I went through some of the most common question types in the comprehension. So hopefully you find something useful in the video. Enjoy the video. Okay, so today's lesson will be on primary school comprehension about the different question types, right? So you probably you are already familiar with some of these questions, okay, but let's see how we are going to approach the questions, right? If you have an exercise book with you, you want to take down notes, by all means, okay? That's my pen first. Yeah, okay, it's working. Okay, let's start with the first type of question. Okay, information transfer. So we'll start off with this because this is one of the most basic type of question in comprehension, right? Information transfer simply means you have your comprehension text, right? The passage. And then the question is asking you to transfer some parts of the information as your answer, right? And your job then is to identify which are the relevant parts. Okay, let me just share in detail. So the question starts with the normal what we know as a 5W1H. Okay, these are question words, right? The 5W1H. Who, what, when, why, where, and how. Can you see? Right? Who, what, when, why, where, and how. So each of these question words is asking you for a very specific piece of details in the passage. So you need to go to the passage, look for that piece of information, right? And then transfer it into your answer. That's why we call this information transfer. Okay. So obviously, who is asking you about a person. So don't go and put an animal in your answer, right? It's not an animal, it's a person. What can be an animal, right? Things, ideas, emotions, etc. And this is one of the most common question word that you will see. When we ask you about a time, and why will ask you about a reason. And realize some of the younger students, especially primary 3, primary 4, that from experience that I've taught before. Sometimes you think you know what the reason is, right? But I've come across students who don't know what a reason looks like. What's the reason, right? So if you don't understand, if you go back to the passage, you can use a connector for reason as a clue, right? To tell you the answer, right? For example, if you see the word because, since, for, due to, owing to, right? These are all connectors for reason, right? And then you know what comes after the connector will be the reason, correct or not? Right? I was late because I overslept. Because I overslept is the reason why I am late, correct? So your answer must include I overslept. Okay, that's the reason. Okay, next. Where refers to place. Okay, so it's quite straightforward. And then how refer to either the steps or some method. Right? For example, the question asks you, how did John get to school, right? So what's the mode of transport? That's the method, right? So you went to school by bus. Simple as that, right? So the piece of detail that you need is the mode of transport. By bus, by MRT, he walked to school, by riding a bicycle, whatever, okay? Okay, so now that's the fundamental of it, the basics, the 5W1H. But please read the question carefully because sometimes the question word may be interchanged depending on the phrasing of the question, right? Show you an example. When did Ming go swimming? So when you see the question word when, what are you looking for?
Time.
Correct. Okay, now they may change the phrasing to at what time did Ming go swimming? You see, right? So the what in this case is also asking you about the time. In fact, they even put the word time there, right? So that you know. Okay, so they may want to change things around, but if you read carefully, then you know what they are asking you. Okay, then you won't make careless mistakes. So how to approach such questions? The 5W1H. Okay, very simple. So like I mentioned, info transfer questions test a student's ability to read the details. Now let me emphasize and explain what the detail is. Some students, I repeat the word detail so many times, 110 times, only to realize they don't know what a detail means. A detail means a very small piece of information. That's why I call it a detail, right? So you go into the passage, I want to look for a very specific small piece of information and then identify. So that's the relevant part, right? That I want to identify. I want to pick it out from the comprehension passage and help me form my answers. Okay. Now in primary 3, most of the time, comprehension, you've been doing a lot of tick, 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 boxes, check box, all these, right? So over time, primary 4, you still get some, those ticking boxes, right? But in primary 5, primary 6, all those tick boxes will be gone. Maybe only one, right? Okay, the rest will all be open-ended. Okay, and in fact, depending on the school, some schools for the final year exam, they have 2 types of comprehension. One type is the more easier one, the easier type, okay, where you get the tick, 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 tick. The other type is the open-ended one, right? So they want to teach that one depend on the school, right? Different school have different exams, okay? So do not form the habit of copying the entire sentence as the answer. Now, primary 3, primary 4, because you're learning to work with open-ended question, that's why students, they cultivate the habit that, they only go and look for the answer. Oh, this is the answer. Then what they do is copy and paste. Control C, Control V. We use a computer. Control C, copy, Control V, paste, right? So primary 3, primary 4, maybe it still works, right? But primary 5, primary 6 is going to be a bit risky, because you may end up copying information that is not required, okay? So this type of mistake, okay, at a higher level, right? In fact, even if you go into secondary school, if you commit this mistake, this is known as access denied. 0 marks. So access denied is meant to prevent students from copying the whole chunk of text, hoping that the answer is somewhere inside. That's like gambling. You don't know exactly where the answer is, so you don't care. Just take the whole chunk of text, a very long sentence, copy and paste. right? So because of that, right, examiners cannot tell whether they truly understood the question or not. So they cannot award you the mark. You understand? Okay. So I only want the part, that particular part. If they ask you the time, give it the time. If they ask you the method, you give the method. The rest, I don't want. Okay. So look at the sentence, right? Ming went to school at 12 p.m. sharp and he ate a sandwich for lunch. So this is a combination of how many sentences? Two. Question, at what time did Ming go to school? So if you copy and paste the entire sentence, you will include the information about him eating a sandwich for lunch. And this is not required. So the first answer is you copy and paste. Second answer, you just say Ming went to school at 12 p.m. sharp. So which is the correct answer? 1 or 2?
1.
Number 2. Number 1 is the copy and paste. Don't copy and paste. You understand? So you read the question again. At what time did Ming go to school? So I only want the time. Can you see? That's why I only take the time, put it down as my answer. The part about eating sandwich, the one removed. Okay. Okay, so that's the answer. Went to school at 12 p.m. So, okay, any question before I move on?
Can I go to the toilet?
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, welcome back. Let's continue. Okay, second type of question, comprehension question, okay, is about referencing. Okay, when you say referencing, you understand it by, you use a word to reference something else. All right, it could be a person, an idea, whatever it is. Right, this is called referencing. So, okay, referencing refers to words that represent ideas or people, etc. Right? Usually, not always. Okay, pronouns are used. Remember what are pronouns? Demonstrative pronouns, right? These, that, these, those, right? It, he, she, one, etc. Okay, each of these words will represent something or someone. Okay, and your job as the student is to identify what does it represent, right? Or sometimes you could have a word like a situation. Okay, so what is this situation? Okay, so example, what does the words, the situation refers to? This is called referencing. We go back to the passage. Scan the surrounding text carefully, okay, for the relevant details, right? And then you provide your answer, right? So for primary 3 to 4, referencing questions are easier. Let's take a look at the question format. It refers to the baby panda. Simple, right? Primary 3, primary 4, you get this one. This sort of question. For primary 5 to 6, questions can be more challenging. And in fact, almost every year, the PSLE come out referencing questions. Okay. So going back to our example, what does the situation refers to? Okay, sample answer. Situation refers to two monkeys fighting over a banana, right? So it's the entire situation. If you stop at the situation refers to two monkeys, full stop, it's wrong. If you say the situation refers to fighting over a banana, also not correct. Okay, you have to give the entire situation. Understand? Okay, so sometimes Like if your language is strong, you get a pronoun that says eat, for example, right? What does eat refers to? IT, yeah? You know that grammatically, it cannot be used to refer to people, right? It can only be used to refer to things or animals, right? So when you put down the answer, okay, don't put down something like it refers to Mr. Chan, who is a person. You see, then 100% is wrong. Okay, your answer, right? Based on grammar alone is wrong. Okay, you know it cannot be the case. Okay, that's referencing. So sometimes students are given a table with a few words or phrases, something like, okay, that is from PSLE 2021. Give you an example from last year, all right? So the format, you're given 3 phrases, right, that evening. So likely is, what does when does the evening refers to? Okay, it should be the evening that according to the text passage, you need to read the entire text passage. Sometimes you start from the surrounding text first, right? If you cannot find the answer, you might want to go further and further, right, until you find the answer. Okay, the same activity, that, right? That's why I mentioned this, that, this, those. Can see? So it came out in the PSLE. All right, this is very common. Okay, let's move on. Okay, question type 3, this one I'll go fast. Okay, this one sequencing. Okay, I taught before. You're given 3 sentences and are asked to label the sequence of events. 1, 2, 3, right? And then you're given 1 mark. Okay. So usually the order of events in a piece of text are ordered from top to bottom. So whatever is on top happens first, whatever comes after that happens next. Okay. So for example, Peter reached home, happened first. Oops. I'll go back. Okay. He fell asleep. Happened second. Simple. Okay. However, that's not always true. The sequence can be reversed depending on the writing. Example, you have a flashback, or you see the use of language, like perfect tenses. Okay, example, Peter reached home. He had been dismissed from school just now. So 2 ways that you know why is this first. First, this is the perfect tense. When you see perfect tense, you know that this happened before this. So this one you have to put 1. The other way you know is by looking at this adverbial phrase just now, right? So just now, you also know that this means before, right? So you have to put this as 1. Okay, be careful when you read. So another example, Peter reached home. A week ago, he was at the hotel. So same thing a week ago, right? So you have to choose this as 1. Okay, and then Peter reached home is 2. You see? So read the passage carefully. Okay, question type 4, okay, is about compare and contrast, right? So how do we approach the question of compare and contrast? Now, this is a very important skill, right? To be able to compare 2 things, right? And identify the difference, right? The good news is this difference is usually already stated in the comprehension passage. You just need to go and find it. So it's a combination, right, of your understanding of what's the difference as well as information transfer. Okay, so you must learn to state the difference. Okay, now for primary 3, 4, sometimes you get tick boxes, right? Okay, which animal is bigger, right? For example, then just tick the correct boxes. Then you go to the text, you see that, oh, I know it's already mentioned, right? The elephant is how many times bigger than an orangutan? Hi again, thanks for watching the video. We've come to the end of the video, so hopefully you've learned something interesting or useful from there. So if you want to watch a future video just like this one, do remember to leave a like and a subscribe. And you're interested to sign up for actual lessons and you're serious about learning and improving your English, do sign up for lessons, and you can find more details at englishttuition.org. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.